The eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me. Meister Eckhart. Listen closely. Something colossal is moving beneath the ordinary. You feel it at 3 a.m., when the room is too quiet to lie to yourself, when crowds get louder yet emptier, when truth shows up as a whisper while lies rent a stadium. You are not imagining this. A deep reset of human consciousness is underway, and you're standing on the hinge of an age. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll hear a simple, living map for what's changing right now, why people seem so divided, and how that very split can turn into a bridge. We'll translate spiritual psychology, Jung to Ramana, Teresa of Ávila to Tolle. You'll leave with practices that steady your mind, open your heart, and actually help the collective heal. And yes, we'll land the plane where it matters most. Light wins, not as a slogan, but as a map, a kind of method you can live. Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you the first switch. Before the map, hold a puzzle. Don't solve it yet. In an era drowning in information, why do so many feel directionless? Why does one friend soften into kindness while another hardens into rage? And why, on strange days, do you feel both? Two voices arguing inside one mind? Keep that riddle open. In a minute, you'll hear the answer that makes your last year click. Two processes are running at the same time. Dissolution, the cracking of old identities, stories, and collective myths. Jung would say the persona, the mask, no longer fits. When a mask peels, it stings. The ego armors up, attacks, hides, or numbs. That's why the world feels sharper, harsher, addicted to outrage. But right alongside the fracture, emergence rises. Something deeper surfacing from the basement. William James and Ramana point to a spacious awareness beneath the thought stream. As the mask loosens, stillness gets air. Presence shows up. A clean hunger for truth appears. Relief arrives. So the world is both breaking and brand new. One hand letting go while the other reaches forward. Hold that felt sense. In 30 seconds, the map will make it obvious. Picture 3 layers of mind. At the surface, the storm. Hot takes, fear spikes, the news cycle tug that yanks your nervous system into fight, flight, or freeze. It's weather. Loud, fast, and convincing. Beneath it, the soil. Jung's deep psyche of symbols, dreams, archetypes, and shadow. Our personal and cultural material churning whenever the weather tears at the ground. And through both, the sky. Pure awareness, the open space Teresa, Eckhart, Ramana, and Tolle point toward. The witness that notices thought instead of being trapped inside it. The part of you that loves truth more than being right. What's happening now? The weather is wild. The soil is churning. The sky has never felt closer. You're not going crazy. You're becoming honest. In a moment, I'll give you a 10-second move that shifts you from storm to sky. Keep an eye out for it. From this, 2 paths appear in high relief. Some clutch the mask. In the squall of uncertainty, identity becomes armor. My team, my label, my certainty. Mockery and attack feel like control. It isn't evil. It's fear that never learned a safer way. Others pivot toward presence. They feel the same turbulence and choose curiosity over certainty. They breathe before they speak. They ask real questions, notice the watcher behind the thoughts, admit when they don't know, and act with integrity. They learn to live from the sky while tending the soil. If you're here, you're already choosing that path, or wanting to. Good. The world needs you steady. In about 90 seconds, I'll show you how to stay steady when someone tries to drag you back into the storm. The greats make the way walkable. Jung says wholeness is integration, not ego annihilation. Own the shadow, so it stops steering from the basement. William James says, trust the clean feel of direct experience over abstraction. Ramana invites the simplest practice. Who am I? Then rest as the one who knows the thought without becoming it. Tolle reminds us the now isn't a bumper sticker, it's a doorway. Teresa of Ávila maps an inner castle. Honest prayer and humility move us room by room toward union. Meister Eckhart whispers, let go of the image of God to meet the living God. Rumi widens the field beyond right and wrong. Teilhard hears the species leaning toward unity. Sri Aurobindo says, don't escape matter, transfigure it. Ken Wilber adds, stages matter, don't demand tomorrow from yesterday. And Krishnamurti gives you permission. If the culture is sick, your discomfort may be sanity. Different voices, one echo. Real awakening cashes out as kindness, clarity, courage. In a bit, I'll give you a one-line question that pulls you into that courage on command. So is this collapse or awakening? The old stories say both. Endings and beginnings braid together. Floods and arcs, deserts and promised lands, crucifixion and resurrection. The arc is disillusionment, purification, rebirth. First, you see what's false. It hurts, but it's a clean pain. Then you let go of habits, lies, identities that don't serve. Then you live from deeper ground. If your life feels like a demolition site, don't panic. The wrecking ball may be mercy in a rough costume. Hold that image. We'll loop back to it when we talk about service as medicine. You don't need a lab to sense this, but science gives a wink. The brain's default mode network quiets in presence, gratitude, and awe. When the rehearsal loop softens, reality returns. Call it contemplation, prayer, or mindful breathing. The effect is the same. The storm settles. The sky opens. Every tradition found the same switch by another name. The practice is simple. Return to breath, to truth, to love. Again and again. In 20 seconds, we'll do it together. Here's that 10-second move. One honest breath before any heated reply. Inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the mouth. Feel your feet. Notice 3 sounds. Then speak. You just shifted layers from storm to sky in under a sentence. Add a 3-word check-in. Tired, anxious, hopeful. And watch pressure drop as shadow loses secrecy. Improve your integrity by 2% today. 1 apology, 1 boundary, 1 kind act. Micro shifts compound. When someone triggers you, whisper inside. One of us is hurting. It cracks the trance of us versus them and walks you into Rumi's field. Sit 5 to 15 minutes daily with no agenda. Thoughts and feelings can come and go. You are the sky. They are weather. Choose truth-first consumption. Protect your nervous system by preferring what leaves you clear over what leaves you provoked. Practice service as medicine. Check on a neighbor, share food, teach a skill, hold a hand. Service keeps awakening from becoming a private hobby. In a minute, I'll share why your calm nervous system silently upgrades rooms you walk into. If you resonate with the message in this video, write in the comments. Tell me the moment you most felt the awareness shift today. Your story will be the bridge someone else needs. Here's something you feel perhaps more than understand. Awakening is personal, but never private. As more individuals stabilize in presence, a morphic field of sanity strengthens. Your calm nervous system is a tuning fork. People entrain to it. Rooms soften. Families de-escalate. Teams listen. Even cities can tilt from reactivity toward response. If you ever doubt your value, remember, each time you choose truth over ego, you quietly tip the scale. Notice that right now. Feel your breath, your feet, the wideness behind your eyes. That's the field coming online. So when I say light wins, I'm not tossing a slogan at a storm. I'm handing you a method. Integrate your shadow so it can't hijack your love. Trust the clean signal of direct experience. Rest as awareness, and this is everything. Return, return, return. Choose presence over performance. Guard your attention like a sacred resource. And serve until your heartbeat becomes someone else's shelter. The storm will rage. The soil will churn. And the sky will keep opening. Stay to the very end of your next hard conversation and try the one-line question we promised. What would honesty do here? Watch how the room changes. Then come back and tell us. Your courage is contagious, and someone is waiting for your proof. The bridge work. How light wins. Let's start with a question. What if light doesn't win by destroying darkness, but by revealing what was hidden all along? What if it isn't magic at all, but method? A way of living, moment by moment, in a world that feels like it's splitting in two? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll see why the world feels so divided, why people around you seem to be changing, and how you can anchor yourself in a way that not only keeps you steady, but makes you part of the quiet revolution already unfolding. But first, here's the paradox. If you want to help others, you can't start with them. You must start with you. Think of the sky. If you're drowning, you can't pull anyone else to shore. That's why the first act of bridge building is stabilizing yourself. Breath by breath, step by step, rest when you're tired, move your body, eat clean food, walk in sunlight. This is not luxury, it's spiritual hygiene. But here's the secret. The more stable you are, the more you'll notice a strange thing. People begin to treat you differently. Why? We'll circle back to that. From there, the next layer is shadow. Jung warned us long ago. Whatever you hate out there usually lives somewhere inside you. Have you noticed how often the thing that bothers you most in others is the very thing you're afraid to face in yourself? That's not an accident. It's a mirror. And here's the curiosity. The moment you own it, forgive it, integrate it, you suddenly have the power to help others without shaming them. Why? Because you're no longer fighting your own reflection. And when you do speak, remember this trap. Contempt. Contempt is junk food for the ego. It gives you a quick hit of false power, but leaves your soul weaker. But here's the twist. When you replace contempt with clarity, when you state the truth cleanly without poison, you discover something unexpected. People listen. Boundaries hold. Dignity rises. Could it be that contempt actually blocks the very power we're seeking? Another bridge, holding two truths at once. Here's the tension. The world is in crisis, and the world is still sacred. Both are true. If you only see the crisis, despair swallows you. If you only see the sacred, denial blinds you. But hold them together, and a third path appears. Not collapse, not escape. Action. The kind of action that feels strangely calm in the middle of chaos. And action doesn't always look like a revolution. Sometimes it looks like micro-courages, 10 seconds of bravery. Saying the kind truth when gossip is easier. Asking the hard question, admitting, I don't know. Or even harder, I was wrong. Why does this matter? Because culture doesn't shift from grand speeches. It shifts from the risks ordinary people take when no one is clapping. And don't underestimate ritual. Here's a mystery. The human nervous system doesn't just survive on logic. It feeds on rhythm. Light a candle each morning. Bless one person. Each evening, name one good thing. These simple practices wire your body for trust. Small, ordinary movements that slowly train you to live as if the world is trustworthy, even when headlines scream the opposite. And if you want to glimpse the future, look at the young. Protect them, not with arguments, but with example. Show them how to breathe when anxious, how to name feelings without shame, how to speak truth without cruelty. Because here's the hidden truth. The future isn't decided by the strongest debater, but by the clearest model. Have you ever noticed that when you argue with someone, it often feels like you're speaking different languages? That's because, in a way, you are. Human growth has many layers. States are fleeting, calm, anger, awe. Stages are stable, self-centered, tribe-centered, world-centered, cosmos-centered. And styles are flavors. Some wake through beauty, others through service, inquiry, or devotion. Here's the catch. If you argue with someone at a different stage, you will always talk past each other. But if you translate, if you meet them in the world they can feel, suddenly a door opens. And when you walk through that door with example instead of pressure, you invite them forward without even trying. And this brings us to the stories we live by. The old story says, "You are a separate self in a dead universe, fighting for scraps." The new story whispers something radical. You are awareness itself, expressing through a human life inside a living, breathing field of meaning. Your real nature isn't against the world. It is the light of the world moving through you. Now, here's the curiosity. The new story is harder. It asks more of you. Honesty, courage, kindness under pressure. But the payoff? It gives more back. A peace that doesn't depend on the headlines. Of course, the obstacles are real. Fatigue convinces you there's no energy left. But here's the flip. Rest isn't weakness. It's fuel. Sleep is a spiritual practice. Cynicism creeps in, but cynicism is often just a broken heart wearing armor. Outrage seduces you with the rush of belonging. But notice how empty you feel afterward. Replace it with purpose. Today, I will. And isolation. That's the cruelest one. The remedy is smaller than you think. A circle of three people. Short, real, weekly check-ins. The world doesn't change in stadiums. It changes in living rooms. So how do you know if you're waking up? Watch for these signals. You pause before reacting. You'd rather learn than win. You see your shadow faster and clean it up. You take kinder risks. Setting boundaries, apologizing cleanly, asking for help. And you feel larger than your story. If even two of these are true, the light is already on. And you're not doing this alone. When you tell the truth gently, that's Teresa moving through you. When you sit in silence and let thoughts pass, that's Ramana. When you own your projections, that's Jung. When you release the need to be right and meet someone in the field beyond ideas, that's Rumi. When you sense the whole as one living process, that's Teilhard. When you stay present in panic, that's Tolle. When you refuse to adapt to sick norms, that's Krishnamurti. And when you hold many views without losing your center, that's Wilbur. All of them meet here in you. In dishes washed, kids raised, code written, neighbors helped. Ordinary acts transfigured. So what skills matter in these end times? It's simpler than it looks. Breathe low and slow. Walk outside daily. Focus on one thing at a time. Keep speech short, clean, kind. Spend money on what heals. Eat simply. Limit news. Pray or meditate daily, even if just for minutes. do one act of service. Feed your soul with beauty. And most of all, find your three real people to walk with. Now let's close the loop from the start. Why, with more information than ever, are so many lost while others grow kinder and clearer? Because information without integration is noise. Presence is the missing ingredient. It turns data into wisdom, pain into compassion, conflict into conversation. Presence doesn't erase the storm, it gives you the sky to navigate it. That's the real shift. From grabbing at certainty to resting in clarity. From I must win to let truth lead. From me versus you to we are one life learning. And here's the bridge to practice this week. Knock gently on the door of someone you argued with and say, I value you more than that argument. Invite 2 friends for tea, phones off, 30 minutes of truth. Write a thank you to someone who serves your community. Before bed, name one projection you caught and how you'll own it tomorrow. And walk outside with no agenda, letting your body remember the bigger rhythm. These are not small things. They are revolutions disguised as ordinary life. And so we arrive at the promise, the map, the context, the tools. What's happening now is a double movement, the old dissolving, the new emerging, fear and awakening side by side. And the way light wins is not by crushing enemies, but by transfiguring relationships from the inside out, one ordinary moment at a time. And if you're weary, it's okay. Rest is part of the path. Lay down the heavy theories. Place your hand on your heart. Whisper, I am here. That alone is prayer. That alone is the doorway. Now picture this. People everywhere pausing before reacting, owning shadows, listening, protecting the young, telling kind truths, building webs of trust so strong fear has nowhere to land. That's the quiet revolution. It may not trend every day, but it will last. One day you'll look around and realize the storm is still weather, but you are the sky, and the world can feel it. If something here sparked you, write in the comments what practice you'll carry this week. Your words may be the bridge someone else needs at 2 a.m. If this spoke to you, a thumbs up helps it reach others. And if you feel called, my ebooks are just $2.99. Your support helps me keep creating. You'll find the link in the description below. The light in you is real. Thank you for being here.